A very happy new year to all my lovely students. Children, I hope this new year brings new joy, new hope in your life, and your life is full of love and loads of good luck. I'm sure you must have enjoyed your winter vacations. But now the holidays are over and it's time to get back on your study track. Okay? Before the winter vacation, we had started with a new chapter on Bhavani Devi, who is a famous Indian fencer. And so far, we have read about the hardships, the struggles she had to go through in order to become what she is at present. Now, Bhavani Devi was not from a very rich family. Her parents were not financially strong. So, when Bhavani Devi started her career in the fencing game and started participating in the various fencing tournaments in India and abroad, the family had to resort to taking loans in order to arrange for her flight tickets and to arrange for her stay at a hotel wherever she went for the tournament. And that was a very tough phase of her life, because on one side she had to deal with the financial crunches, and on the other hand, she had to concentrate on improving her performance, because she was going to face some of the top fencers of the world. So the troubles faced by her, the problems that she faced, did not deter her, her concentration on improving her performance in every match. And with each match, she became a better fencer, and her life experiences toughened her as a professional. Undeterred by the adverse circumstances, Bhavani Devi continued making steady progress, and a day came when her efforts were recognized, and the Tamil Nadu government came forward and rewarded her with the financial support. A non-profit organization, Go Sports Foundation, also came forward to help her with her finances in order to, help her improve her training. It came forward to finance her training program. As a result of the improvement in the financial condition, Bhavani Devi was able to shift her training base to Italy, and she also recruited an Italian coach named Nicola Zanotti. The team of Bhavani Devi also decided to hire a mental conditioning coach, because the fencing game is not all about fast reflexes. It also requires a lot of grit. It also requires a lot of concentration, mental strength. So for that, they hired a coach that was for the mental conditioning coach. Now, all these things helped her polish herself, and um, she kept on participating in different tournaments. As a result, and she won also many tournaments, as a result of which she scored the 36th rank in the international fencing tournament. In the year 2018, she won a gold medal for India in the Commonwealth Games, and she was also the first Indian woman to win the tournament, which was held in Iceland, that is the Tornoi World Cup Satellite Fencing Championship. Now, when Bhavani Devi started winning medals for India at international level, the Union Ministry recognized her achievements, and as a result of that, the fencing game was shifted from the others category to the general category. Now, with the shift of this sport in the general category, it became easier for the other fencers also to participate in the international levels. And because it came into the general category, now this sport was also being was also given financial help. It was also financed by the Union Ministry, which resulted in the improvement of the infrastructure, facilities which was needed to, which was needed to improve or to strengthen or to motivate, encourage the other new fencers to come forward in this game. But there were many times when Bhavani Devi was not able to perform better. She was not able, for example, she was not able to qualify to the quarterfinals of Asian Championship, as a result of which her world ranking also dropped. Okay, so right now Bhavani Devi was aiming for the Tokyo Olympics, and she wanted to participate there in the Tokyo Olympics from India side, from Indian side. And in order to participate in Tokyo Olympics, she had to improve her world ranking. And for that, there were two goals that she had to achieve, and that was winning the World Cup, which was going to be held in the Salt Lake City, Utah, and another one, that is the Asian Championship in Tokyo, that was in the year 2019. Okay, so this much we have read. So and now we are going to continue with the remaining part of the chapter. Olympics may be the sole driving force for Bhavani now, but it was hardly the motivation when she opted for the sport in her early teens. A childhood fascination for the sport soon became an obsession, and her coaches were floored by her prodigious talent. Despite fencing being frowned upon as a European sport without any history in India, nothing could stop the youngster from pursuing it seriously. Bhavani Devi started showing interest in the fencing sport from a very early stage of her life. During her school days, when this sport was introduced in her school, she was mesmerized by the weapon, that is the sword. For her, the sword was a symbol of courage. And when she told her parents about her decision, or about her interest in the fencing game, they initially they were not in favor of that, because it was a foreign game. It was a sport of a European origin. Okay, there was no Indian history attached to this sport, so obviously the parents were not very much interested. They did not show much interest in this sport. But anyhow, she started training. She started, practicing this fencing sport, and the coaches were very impressed by her talent, were very impressed by her reflexes, or by her, you can say, moves which she did while practicing for this sport. Her hometown of Chennai lacked the adequate infrastructure, and she was even willing to move to Kerala. Her decision was backed by her parents, and she took a huge leap of faith to relocate to Thalassery to train at the Sports Authority of India. Here, she met her coach and mentor, Sagar Lagu, who shaped her career. Bhavani Devi's hometown Chennai lacked the infrastructure which was required to improve the art of fencing. Okay, and that is the reason why Bhavani Devi decided to shift to Kerala. And when she told her parents about the decision, her parents supported her, and she finally shifted to Thalassery so that she could train at the Sports Authority of India. And here is where she met her coach and mentor, Sagar Lagu, who had a very big role in shaping her career. He was the one who encouraged her in her initial years, who trained her in this art of fencing. Bhavani specializes in saber, the form of fencing considered to be the fastest. The other two types of fencing are épée and foil. Bhavani's medals at the international stage have already inspired many youngsters to take up fencing. The appearance of an Indian fencer in the Olympics could usher in a revolution. Bhavani Devi is the closest to becoming that trailblazer in India. Now, there are different forms of fencing. Mainly, there are three forms of fencing. One is saber, second is épée, and the third one is foil. Out of these three, saber is the form which is the fastest. It requires fast reflexes, fast movements, hand and leg movement, and this is the form in which Bhavani Devi specializes. Okay, and Bhavani Devi has won many medals at the international level, and that has inspired a lot of youngsters, and they have also started taking interest in fencing and are motivated to take up fencing as a career sport. So you can say that Bhavani Devi is a trailblazer in India when it comes to the fencing sport. She was the first one who did something in this, sport, and because of her efforts, because of her achievements, because of her success, people are now more, motivated, you can say, and they are showing interest and are taking up this sport also. Basic guide to fencing. A fencing bout features a face-off between two contestants looking to score points by making contacts on the designated target area of their rivals using a weapon resembling a sword. In the Olympics or a standard international tournament, a bout lasts for 9 minutes or until a contestant scores 15 points. A fencing bout or a fencing match involves two participants, two contestants who are called fencers, and their aim is to score 15 points by touching the opponent's body or the targeted areas of the opponent's body, and this they do by a sword, by a weapon which resembles like a sword. So every fencing match is for 9 minutes. It lasts for 9 minutes or until one of the contestants has scored 15 points. Competitive fencing is classified into three different events based on the type of weapons and scoring. In foil, a light sword is used which has a flexible rectangular blade. Points are scored only when the tip of the weapon touches the target areas on the opponent's body. Okay, the competitive fencing is categorized into three events. Okay, and each event involves a different kind of weapon and scoring. For example, in foil, the sword which is used is quite light in weight. It has a rectangular blade which is quite flexible, and in order to score points, the tip of the weapon has to touch the targeted areas of the opponent's body. épée involves a heavier sword where points are awarded when the tip of the weapon touches the opponent's target area, which consists of his or her entire body, including his hands and legs. In saber, where a lighter weapon is used, both the blade and the tip of the weapon can be used to score points. In épée, a heavier sword is used and the targeted areas are to be touched with the tip of the sword, and the opponent can also touch the hands and legs of the um, contestant. Okay, and when it comes to saber, the weapon which is used, the sword which is used is a lighter sword, and the blade as well as the tip of the weapon can be used to touch the opponent's body parts or targeted areas in order to score points. So basically, in foil and in epi, the body parts, the targeted body parts has to be touched with the tip of the sword, whereas in saber, the contestant can touch the opponent's targeted areas with the tip of the sword also, as well as with the blade. The tips and blades of the weapons are electrically wired, and whenever there is a valid contact on the target area on the opponent's body, a buzzer goes off indicating a point. Whenever one of the contestant is successful in touching the opponent's targeted areas with the tip of the blade or with the tip of the sword or the blade, a buzzer goes off which indicates that a point has been scored. And this happens because both the tip and the blade of the sword are electrically wired. Okay, so that's the basic knowledge that has been given to us about fencing.